Miami to Curacao is around 1,300 miles, or a 3-hour flight, but this gumbo-type mixture of Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, and African cultures feels like it's a world away. Come with Fashion Style World for a glimpse at Curacao. Willemstad, the capital city of Curacao, is accessible by ferry, and the beautiful pastel-colored historic buildings designates this capital as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Another tourist attraction is the floating pontoon bridge, known to locals as the Swinging Old Lady. Thousands cross the pedestrian bridge each day to explore the beautiful island nestled between Aruba and Bonaire, just 35 miles north of Venezuela. Another one of its treasures is the Netto Bar, where the doctor of green rum is on call. His green rum, or rum verde, is the special blend, and he has just the right prescription to help you celebrate your vacation getaway. Plus, Netto Bar is a great place to just settle in, sip rum, and people watch in the bustling streets near Willemstad. Curacao has a namesake liqueur that is unique to the island. In the 16th and 17th centuries, sailors on long voyages would get scurvy from lack of vitamin C, but the bitter oranges found on the island became a healing agent that saved their lives. Now, it's the source for the famous Blue Spirit, which is distilled since 1896 on the historic Chobolobo salt plantation. Full of food and feeling good, we head to the shore where art and nature combine to form the most picturesque landscape that draws you in to admire the colorful contours, whimsical sea creatures, and smiling skulls. Taking in the trade wind breeze from a colorful tree is just part of this journey. Next, we stopped at the Chetiboca National Park on the western shore of the island, home to a dozen bocas, or coves. At the Boca Tabla, guests enter at their own risk to see white waves crash into an underground grotto. A short stroll up to the limestone terrace offers inspiring views of the majestic waves breaking onto the rugged northern shore. Here, expansive views of the ocean take your breath away. The island of Curacao has an Afro-Caribbean majority who are of African descent. As the sun sets on the day, we ended it with a visit to the Curacao Museum. Opened in 1999 to learn about the rich and storied history of the slaves brought to the island by the Dutch, who made Curacao a center for the Atlantic slave trade. The slaves worked on the many plantations with large mansions, or landhuizen. About 55 historic plantations have been preserved, along with artifacts and carvings from the slaves. Many structures at the museum are still intact, like the drinking hole where slaves took their water. The museum impressively exhibits the transatlantic slave trade in its totality, from slave capture in Africa through the Middle Passage and the relocation in the New World. The most emotionally charged part of the museum is a basement converted into a replica of a slave ship's slave quarters. Things we don't like to, but must remember. Overcome with the thoughts of awful things human beings have done to each other, I could not hold back my tears. But visiting this museum and this island was one way to honor the suffering of those who came before me by force. The beauty and soul of Curacao will stay with me for years to come.